Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to I Want Entertainment, another tribal council here in Port Royal. We are at the top six, the nitty gritty of this game. As Jonathan would say from Australian Survivor, getting down to the pointy end. Today, we held to the final six immunity challenge. Thank you so much, Sam, Instinct, and Drew for hosting, where Zach came out victorious. Another individual, sorry, having a stroke. Another individual immunity win under your belt. How does it feel like at this point of the game? Winning immunity now, sort of a whole different ballgame than winning immunity at the top 13.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, at this point, everyone's a target. Not to say that at top 13, not everyone's a target because, it's some one of 13 has to go. But obviously, it goes without saying that as the numbers get smaller, you're just more likely to go home just because of the sheer fact that there are less people out there. So it definitely matters more now, I guess, in that regard. And it's just really great to know that I've made it one more round further to the final five.
I'm going to be asking a couple of y'all this question tonight. Do you think you have what it takes to get to the end of this game?
Is that to me?
Yeah, use that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do. I think that I've made it far enough to top five that, why not, get to the end? It's, I've survived this many votes. I think that I have it in me to survive the following ones, and I hope that's the case. And if not, so be it. But I think so, yeah.
How are you feeling about moving forward? How important is this vote more than, the past to set your game up for those last few nights?
I mean, I think that this vote, just like every vote previously, every single vote is crucial for moving forward. Based on the people that you vote with, people you vote against, whoever goes home, if you're blindsided, whatever it is that happens, it all sets up the rest of the game. And at this point, we're moving into final five, so you're basically voting. The people that you're not voting for, you're picking those people to move forward into the end game with, for specific reasons, obviously. And so I think it's even more important now, I guess, because, if you're lucky enough to get to the end, you're not going to be sitting there alone. You're going to be sitting there with one or two other people. And with such few options, the people you keep safe could end up sitting there with you.
Thank you, Zach. Benji, Zach mentioned something interesting, and it's obviously something that y'all should be thinking about. How important is it not only to, think about your own safety in the game at tribal council and like everything that goes into making that decision, but also because the jury is growing, we're getting towards the end of the game. How important is it also to consider who you want to be sitting next to? Who do you want to take to the end? Like, does that start eventually to surpass, other reasons for voting in the past? Like, oh, I don't communicate with this person, or oh, I trust this person. Like, does who you want to sit in the end start to like outweigh all the other reasons?
Definitely. Toward the end game, you have to really put not just the few remaining rounds, but who you will be sitting at finale night with. Who will you be able to have points that you could at least match or beat when it comes to compelling the jury on why you should win? It definitely plays a big factor in the next couple of rounds, and ultimately it could decide whether someone wins or not.
So you spent time away from camp recently, not last episode. Do you think that's impacted your position in the game?
I think so, a little bit, because even though it was only a span of 24 hours, that's all it takes in the game for anything to turn around. People could have built better communication and better relationships while I was gone. And clearly, I have yet to have any type of immunity challenge prowess to try and save myself there. So I definitely think it hindered me a little bit, regardless of me being here in this spot. There are still strides left to go.
What was it about the last challenge? I mean, you got my fear was y'all would only last 4 moves and the challenge would be over. But what happened in that personally for you that let Zach, the darkest color there, like literally the most, at least for my eyes, and I'm like colorblind, but Zach's pieces were the most obvious for me to see. So what happened?
I think for me personally, I started fixating on my own color and concentrating on the pattern to win, that even though I did look at that, I let that take over, also being mindful of everything else around me.
Thank you, Benji. Rachel,
Hi.
how are you?
Nervous again, but pretty good, I guess, for how I can be. Not that smile. What the heck?
I was just thinking about you playing a little thing last Tribal Council.
Yeah. What
How
about
is the
it?
game? How is the game changed for you not sitting on a power like that can protect you, that you can whip out tonight?
I don't like how it feels because like Zach had said, like there's only so many options and there's only so many people left. And it's hard for people to all necessarily agree, I guess, to an extent on a vote. Because I've been hearing so many different things, but
What have you
I
been hearing? What have you been hearing?
I don't want to say it on here. I've just been
Why
hearing
not?
things.
Why not?
Okay, wait. I'll say this. Part of me feels like it's me because I'm getting random answers from people.
You're
Can I
getting
just say that?
what answers from people?
I've been hearing everyone's names, every different name, because they all don't want to admit that it's probably me.
Okay, so you've heard Nolita's name?
Yes, I did.
You've heard Jazz's name?
Yes, I did.
You've heard Benji's name?
Yes, I did.
You've heard Taisha's name?
Yes, I did.
And has anybody told you that they've heard your name?
Yes.
So you've heard everybody's name.
Yes, including my own.
So you feel like this could be just a crapshoot tonight?
Honestly, yeah.
Sort of just like which plan that you've heard of, if you've talked
Who's
to
going to stick
everybody.
to what? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting.
I like that. How do you feel about like the probability of you surviving? Like, what's your gut saying?
My gut is kind of telling me I might be okay, but I don't tend to listen to my gut sometimes. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Has there been a point in this game where you haven't listened to your gut?
Yes,
Did you regret that decision?
a little bit.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Nolita,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm okay.
How does it feel to be in
Took one
front
with
of
me,
me?
took one with me.
Yep, take your time, no.
I'm gonna unmute on the phone and not on the computer.
How does it feel to be where you are right now?
It feels good to be here with all these fantastic people, but it's also very nerve-wracking because there's so many less fantastic people, so it just makes it harder. Not like there's less fantastic people, there's just less people and they're all fantastic.
Got it. Everybody's fantastic. Does that make voting difficult as the game progresses?
It does make it very difficult because you start developing like personal relationships with people and yeah, so
Is it difficult to sort of keep in the front of your mind, because all of you signed up for this game individually? You all went to the I Want Entertainment website, you put your name into the thing, you pressed send, and it was a solo venture. So with discussing how, tight knit y'all are getting, how well you are all bonding in just over the course of these 30 plus days, how difficult is it to keep in the front of your mind, I entered this individually, sort of like your solo mission combating the experience?
I don't really understand the question, to be honest.
Is it
But
becoming? Oh, do you want me to clarify? Like, and I know I ramble. So do you want me to clarify
ramble
specifically?
too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you enter as an individual, but if you're not making relationships, then you're not going to go very far. So at the end, there is only one winner, but at the same time, how you get there is building relationships.
Does it
So-
come to a point where wanting the win takes precedence over relationships, maybe?
I should say yes. Yes, because when you get to the final or like the finale, like 6, you can see it almost. So you want to get there, but also you don't want people to hate you. So
Is it hard to mitigate that? Making moves, being bold, and this is how I'm going to get to the end, while mitigating, people's feelings and the fact that this is a human thing as well.
yeah, I tend to put my whole heart into games, and so I get very attached to people, so it does make it very hard. I don't know how to answer it more than that. And it becomes hard to separate the heart and the head sometimes.
Well, for you, if you do survive this vote, if you do survive this vote, it'll be interesting to see how the course of action is taken between your heart and your head. Thank you, Nolita. Jazz,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. The more tribal councils that you attend this late in the game, you see JB, Valiant is a part of the jury. You see Max, you see Bree making dinner, but listening to y'all, plead your case here at tribal council. Does the jury and their perception and knowing that they're going to be voting for the winner, like pretty much saying you are deserving for this title, does that influence these tribal councils and the game?
I mean, it probably should. Like, you can't win by winning a challenge. You can't win by having, whatever. Like, ultimately, the jury's opinion is gonna matter, and you need to be thinking about how you're perceived by them and how your game is perceived by them. So, yeah, it matters a lot.
For you personally, what constitutes like a good player, somebody worthy of a vote for you?
For me, I think someone who is well-rounded as a player, goes to basic survivor, outplay, outlast. And people that are versed in all aspects, social, strategic, competitive, like all of that.
Versatility.
Yeah, versatility.
Bold
That's a great
word,
word.
versatility.
You're on the money.
Got it. How are you feeling about your position in the game? Top 6, 1 safe. That means 5 options.
I mean, I could feel good about my position and be completely wrong with that idea that I'm in a good position. But like, there's a 1 in 5 chance that I go home. So those odds definitely make me nervous. But I'm hoping that I can stay another round and then stay another round and then another round and be at final tribal council. But yeah, I feel okay about my position. But you never know. I never feel secure when I don't have immunity.
Thank you, Jazz.
Of course.
Taisha,
Hi. Can you hear
same
me?
question, same sort of question for you. How are you feeling about your position? Not much room to hide whatsoever here in the top 6.
I feel unsure. Like I really don't know where to gauge my position right now. It's hard to like really understand where you truly are in a game unless you're looking at it from like maybe a outside or inner perspective. But I am feeling unsure.
Unsure because of what?
Just
All the variables or anxiety or like what makes you so unsure?
well, I can only play from my perspective and and everything, but there's another way other people might view me and everything. So you have to take into account other people's like feelings towards you as well.
Did you have the same experience as Rachel in that you've heard every single person's name except for Zach because he's safe?
Yes, I did. So me and Rachel heard the exact same things, same names.
Is that true for everybody else here? Sorry, Jazz, Benji, Nolita. Did y'all hear everybody's name? Shuck. What are you basing your vote on? A lot in the past, it's been people voting based on trust, voting based on gut. Trust and your gut can only get you so far, right?
It's final 6. So I'm going based off of gameplay and what's better for my game at the moment.
So the person you're voting out is just probably not the best for Taisha's game going forward.
Not right now.
Thank you, Ty. Look around. Everybody's gotten the opportunity to speak. Since Zach's the only person with immunity, everybody's heard their names tonight. This is your last opportunity. If you really feel vulnerable and you don't want to be voted out on, I think it'll be game day 34. Speak now before it's too late.
I just don't want it to be me. That's all.
Thank you, Gwen. It is game day 34. End of the road for one of you. All right, it is time to vote. Please make your way over to your Discord confessionals, type the name of the person you want to see written on the parchment. I will then tally them. Once you vote, you can unmute and, share these last minutes with this group of 6.
Not JV3 down there.
I love that you can't say it with your voice because you can't. You're on jury. You can't talk. So, oh, nice try. You can try all you want, honey bunny. After I give you a compliment, it was nice to you in the jury chat. Never again.
Wait, JB, is it down with Drew like down with Drew, fuck the patriarchy, or like down with Drew like I'm down with Drew?
That means he's down
You
with
have
me.
to
that I'm
not
cool.
clarify
He's
my.
down with me that I'm cool and he wants to hang.
Okay, good. That clarified. Thank you, JB. You're my favorite.
Nasty Drew.
I think you spelled that wrong. It's Sandy.
Oh my gosh, I love you too, JB.
JB stopped standing me once the 24-hour challenge was like 3 hours in. At that point,
You're the bad luck. You're his
he was
bad
no
luck.
longer a Sandy Stan from that point on. I could not get
Listen.
it back.
Sandy, when I was on the call, they kept scoring. Every time you got on the call, they would lose. So
Every time I got on, I was like, Sandy, go, you're unlucky. So yeah, I don't expect any JB love, but I love him. Hi, I have the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. Tonight is the last time any in-game power can be played. And one was. Polly's Parrot was played tonight, which allowed that other person who played it to take somebody's vote, and their vote would parrot that of which the vote that they cast. If anybody is in possession of another in-game power or a hidden immunity idol, and you would like to play it, now would be the time to play it.
I'm gonna use my idol just because last round to do so.
Taisha, this is an authentic, a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Taisha tonight will not count. I'll read the votes. First vote, Benji. Jazz. That is 1 vote for Benji, 1 vote for Jazz. Benji. 2 votes, Benji. Next vote. Benji. That's 3 votes for Benji, 1 vote for Jazz. Next vote. 15th person voted out. Next member of our jury, Benji. Unfortunately, tonight, that is enough votes. You can unmute and say some parting words to the Gonav crew.
It's hard for me to want to say anything right now, but good game. From my perspective, I don't think I had a better case than the rest of you standing there, and that's just my personal opinion. But um, I'm not gonna leave here with any bitter words here. Play your hardest, and remember you are unique, you are special, you are most importantly loved by me. Good luck, guys.
Benji, captain of Blackbeard. I know I gave you a hard time at every tribal council every time I saw you at the start. I want to thank you for taking Rocky's offer to play, or like, you know, his recruitment seriously, because you ended up being one of the stars of the season, taken out now for a reason. I know you just said that you don't see it, but I promise you there was purpose. This is not a purposeless vote off. I want to thank you being a West Coaster. It's like you get right out of work and you're playing iSurvivor. I know I've seen you and Bree do it day in and day out. I cannot thank you enough. You're an all-star. You played your heart out, and yeah, this season would not be the same without Benji's trailblazing. So take that with you. You played great. But unfortunately tonight, Benji, the tribe has spoken. It is time for you to walk the plank. Head off to the jury, my friend. Final five. Congratulations, Jazz, Nolita, Taisha, Rachel, and Zach. I say this after every tribal council, but look around. One of you is the sole survivor. I want to see some clawing their way to the top of the crow's nest, where only one of you will eventually stand alone and victorious.